this one, we're going to implement a manager to handle our related products call. So we want to actually be able to show related products here, and we want to do that by using query sets and all sorts of things. Now to do this, we are going to jump into our models.py and update our product manager. Our product manager is really how we're going to handle our query sets, right? So a lot of times with a manager or a model manager, you get query sets back. That's not always the case, but sometimes it is. So that's how we're actually going to do this. And I'm going to call it define get related. Now this is going to return back a query set. So we want to take in self and the instance, and then we're going to return something. For now, I'm just going to say self.getQuerySet. All right, so now that we have this get related, let's go into our views, into the product detail view. We're going to make context in here, or add to the context, and I'm going to call it define get context data. So we're overriding this method as we've done a few times now. So first we'll do args and keyword args, and then we're going to return context, and then we have to set context as well. So context equals to super product detail view self, and then get context data, and then args and keyword args, and then we want to return context, and we'll say related, and we're going to put this equal to product.objects.getRelated. All right, so now we have that in here. If we refresh in here, we have get related takes 2 arguments. So let's see what those arguments were. We have the instance in here. So let's make sure we add the instance of the object that we're working with. So it's self.getObject would get the instance itself. So we could, let's just write that as a line on its own. So we'll say instance equals to self.getObject. So we'll add this into get related, and then we refresh in here and nothing's coming through. So on our template, we'll add underneath related products, we'll just add related context variable. So it's showing all products, which is obviously not what we want to see, but that's because we didn't customize our model manager at all. But it is showing products here, which is kind of cool. So if we go back into our model manager, we're going to do something very similar to what we did with our categories on the views. So if you remember back on how we did our categories, we're going to do something just like this, but it's going to be related specifically to the instance itself. So we'll say product 1. I'm just saying product or products 1, the group of products 1. And we'll do self.getQuerySet. And then we want to filter the query set down. And we're going to say categories in equals to instance.categories.all. So what this is doing is it's looking for categories that are inside of this. If you wanted it to be exactly the same, you would say 2 underscores again, and it's exact. But we're just doing in general. So this is going to get the ones that are all in the same category. And then, of course, we want to get the ones with the same default as well. So product 2 or products 2, self.getQuerySet, and then filter. This is going to be default is equal to instance.default, and that's going to give us the same default. So now we need to combine those two, and we'll say QS is equal to products 1, and then products 2, and then again distinct, we want that again distinct, and then we want to return this new query set. So if we go back into our detail view and refresh in here, we now see some related products. Now we do also see the same product that we have shown, so we actually don't want to see that product. Now, it's really easy to do is we just add an exclude to right before distinct. We write exclude, and we're going to say ID. We're going to set that equal to instance.id. And what that will do is just remove something from it, where filter filters it down in like a funnel, if you will. Exclude removes it out. So exclude is another way to filter, but it's not filtering in, it's filtering out. So where filter is filter in. Now if we refresh, now all we see is iPhone cover. Perfect, that's what we want to see. So back into our related products call, we're going to do for product in related. And for now, I'll just put the same stuff that we've been using on our product list, which is this right here. Actually, just the link probably. So I'm going to copy that in product detail and just add a break after. And we see the same link. So let's actually go back into our HTML. What we see here is it says object. It's not using the right iteration. It should be product. Refresh in here, and now it's showing related products. We go to iPhone cover, it shows related products. And another thing that's really nice about this is right now, the way it's coming through, if we look back on our products, it's coming through and it's going to be in the same order no matter what. So we're going to do order by and just use a question mark. And this will change the order depending on how many products are actually in that particular related products based on random. So if we go into admin and let's just go to, let's say, our charging cable. Let's actually change this to charging cable. We'll make it active again. We're going to add it to electronics and accessories. We'll hit save. And we'll go back into our products. Click on MP3 player. iPhone and charging cable, those are in the same type of thing. If I refresh, it changes the order of them. And granted, if there are a lot more products, it would show it even differently. Now, if there were a lot more products, perhaps you wouldn't want to have a ton of them. Maybe you'd want to limit the number that's actually here. So you could do something where it's like, if it's a certain count, you could limit it to. That's definitely something that you might want to do. And it's really simple. We could just do, if we want the first 6 items, you could just do this. So brackets, :6, and that will give us the first 6 items in that query set, whatever it ends up being, and that actually limits it. Now, of course, the order by and the 6, this stuff, if you really wanted to keep it always like that, you could go back into your model manager and put this in here on get related. You could put it right there. But the reason I'm not doing that is so the get related items we can adjust or change as we want down the line, and depending on how we want to order it, that's another thing that we might want to do. The definitely limiting part, that is something that I for sure want to do only here versus here, because the get related, this is just showing all related query set. It's not limiting that query set, and it's also not changing the ordering of that query set. It goes off of the default model ordering, which is what this is doing right here. Actually, any of these filters are going off of the default model ordering. So if for some reason I wanted to change the model ordering, for example, I'll say class meta inside of the model, and I'll say ordering equals to title, and we'll just do reverse title. All right, so we'll save that in just a second, and then in our view, I'm going to get rid of that order by question mark, and do python manage.py, make migrations to add that meta information. So it's just an option. That's all it's really doing, and we migrate it, and then run the server again. And we go back in here. If I refresh, it's now going to go based off of the reverse order because of how we set that the metadata. So it's going from Z to A. So if we wanted to change that order at any time, we can then go back in here and do order by, let's say, just regular title. And we refresh in here. It's going to go off of what this query set's going to be, which is really cool. So that also means that using that question mark there makes a lot of sense. All right, so now, if you have any questions on where we're at with these related products, let us know. Now, granted, you could do it where the images are coming through, and the way you would have the images pull is the exact same way that we did with our image set itself. So right here, this is actually how you would go ahead and do that on the related product list as well, which is something I'm not going to cover, but it's definitely something that you can do, as well as all the other product detail information that you may need. It's all right here for you. So if you have any questions on that, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.